And your relationship growing up with him, you said he wasn't around much. Did you do you have any did he ever give you any advice, any words of wisdom?
Not zero, nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Like he
Nothing.
Did he know that you wanted to pursue comedy?
He didn't know anything. He didn't know if I was sick, if I was alive, if I was awake. Not,
Really?
Like when I was 2, that was it.
Really?
To be honest, yeah.
Wow. So when did he pass? It was not that long
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And your relationship with him wasn't close?
We didn't have any relationship whatsoever. It wasn't a bad relationship.
Right.
It just wasn't a there was absolutely zero, nothing.
Yeah, that's got to be.
Yeah, fucking digest that.
Yeah.
How are you gonna zero? Like nothing. Like we didn't ever. There was nothing. I tried a lot. He had a manager who was very controlling, so it's not.
Yeah.
I kind of like don't make it all his fault, I guess, in my brain. But,
But you both lived in the city. He was a city guy too, right?
I didn't grow. I grew up in Florida.
Oh, okay.
I moved here when I was 18 to the city.
Okay.
But just absolutely no relationship.
And your mom is totally supportive of you in your comedy career and pursuing that side of life.
She's a showbiz woman, you know.
Right. Yeah.
She told me to be a comedian.
Do you, when you see other comics and things like that, do you who have families, do you tell them, hey, pay a little attention to the kids and stuff like that?
Hey.
Tim Crompier is in the house.
Tim Crompier is a great father.
Man?
He's got...
Yeah, he has a whole CD about fatherhood and stuff like that.
What am I doing here?
Very funny comic, Tim.
Yeah, we'll have a seat on the couch and put on the headset, please.
How you doing? Join the casting couch, man.
Jackie was also... Do you mind if I tell him the story about his comment?
We're
talking
about,
Jackie Mason stories here.
Yeah.
Tim.
So he...
Never heard of him.
He was surprisingly vain because I had this weird interaction with him. And because I was like trying to say like, hey, what's the big deal? Just get over it already. Just talk to it's your daughter, you know? And
he was always at this diner on 57th
Yeah.
Street, the Applejack Diner.
They even have like a booth where you like come in, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
So
It actually said the Jackie Mason booth.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's not a comic who has that. Is it Seinfeld? There are a couple of
I don't
comics
know.
who have that. But anyway, so he said to me, I'm like, what's the problem? Like, come on, man, you know?
Oh, you tried to talk to him?
Yeah, I
to
stuck
see his daughter?
my dumb nose in this. And she's like, and he's like,
wait.
he's like,
So you walked into the diner with unbeknownst to him, and you just kind of sat down at his table. And
no, I didn't sit down at his table. No, I forgot how it happened.
That's
It's
pretty cool.
Something
He
like,
was sitting outside.
And this is when you guys were an item, the two of you. When you
We weren't really ever like an item. It was kind of like a side thing. always.
yeah. But anyway, so I asked him like, what's the big deal? just come on, just talk to her, right? And
Wow.
he's like,
We're really good friends now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like Jerry and Elaine. Like,
Like Jerry and Elaine. and that she always pushes me really hard, and I almost fall over. So so I'm like, what's the big deal? Like, come on, just get over it. It's your daughter. And he's like, she's lousing me up in her act. You know.
Yeah, because I used to have that joke.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish a better-looking comedian was my father, like Woody Allen or Rosie O'Donnell. And one night he saw me at the diner. He goes, "This is who you compare me to, like a fat yenta, like Rosie O'Donnell."
Yeah.
And I go, "It's a joke. Like, help me write a better joke." He's like, "Why should I help you do anything?"
Wow.
Like, really
Yeah.
nasty. He had
Yeah,
a real,
it was nasty,
You know,
yeah.
when he was 92, he got thrown out of this diner that had a plaque that said the Jackie Mason booth, a place that he'd been coming to for years. He got thrown out because he had a fight about a cup of coffee with a busboy.
Wow.
He had anger issues. Yeah.
And I know that because the manager told me.
Were you his only daughter?
Yes.
All right, so he didn't have other kids or other relationships.
No.
So this is clearly a mentally ill person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You
that's
know.
coming
Yeah.
from a really good dad who's a husband. And
Well, yeah, and it's just a mentally. I mean, think how mentally ill he was. So
Yeah.
in some ways, now I'm not you, but it's a. Could you imagine if he was in your life the whole time? It would have been fucking worse.
That might have been worse. Him yelling at
Could've
you all the
been.
time.
You
and
never
I
stuff.
don't know. It might have been. He had tender moments with my mother, you know.
Yeah, but
They
let
were
me tell you
together 10
something. You don't
years.
remember the tender moments. You remember the untender moments when you're like I'm good with my kids, and we do. And I spent the whole day driving around doing what I want. But I'm sure at one point I yelled at them, and they're like, you really snapped at us today.
yeah.
Right,
Wow.
they
Not the
were
fact
funny.
that-
Not the fact that I took you out
Yeah,
to breakfast,
it's
drove
hard.
to martial arts.
Yeah.
I got up at 3 a.m. You were sick last week, and I was with
Yeah.
you all day. I took you to the doctors. I took you to the blah blah blah. It was really nasty the way you snapped at us because you didn't like the way we were throwing things at each other. So it's like you gave your brother a bloody nose, so I snapped. So
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, you got to look at it like you dodged a bullet more than anything else.
Yeah.
In some ways,
I don't have any. I'm all right with it.
I know you
Yeah.
are. I know you're great with it, and you should be great with it.
So what if I'm a raging alcoholic and I have terrible father?
that would have been anyway. That's
might have been anyway.
That's just genetics.
So
Where's the drink that I ordered?
Well, let me tell you the funniest thing.
Yeah.
So when we had that interaction,
Yeah.
it was like similar to what she said. But then he goes to me. He was very pissed about the Rosie O'Donnell thing, and he said to me,
he did not like Rosie.
No, but they're just in the comparison because he's vain, and he's like, she compares me to Rosie O'Donnell. Do I look like a fat lesbian to you? And I paused, and I was like,
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck you!
Really? He got mad at you.
Flipped out.
He flipped out on you?
I was just joking.
You should have said
just kidding around, you know?
You should have said she really just wanted a Gentile. She wanted a Gentile father with good Christian blood.
Yeah.
That would have really got
Donald's a successful comedian. Come on.
So
Why couldn't Donald Trump have been my father?
he should have been the one. So when you're getting
He put me down in his shit list.
Yeah,
He asked me for my name.
Really?
And then I was playing Jackie Mason in the musical, and I'm so embarrassed how I responded to this. He's like, "Who the fuck are you?" And I'm like, "I play you."
You told him?
I told him, "I play you in the musical of your life." He's like, "You're not me. Fuck you. I'm me." What's your
Wow.
name? And he took my name down, and he had a shit list that he kept in his pocket.
Oh, that's a very
Easy access shit list. He was constantly shit listing people.
That's funny. That's a very Irish thing to do.
Yeah.
Like I had a great grandfather,
Grudges.
Irish great grandfather. My mother used to talk about it. And if you ever watch the movie, it's an old movie called The Irish. It's with John Wayne. It was the Irishman. It was called, or whatever.
I think it was called The Irishman. Yeah.
So there's a part in it where there's a man and he's in Ireland. There's an old guy and he's in the neighborhood. And anytime someone pissed him off, he took a thing out and he wrote down, "What's your name?" "Murphy." "Murphy 3," and he give like a rating. And my mother used to love watching that movie because her grandfather she grew up with in Long Island. From the old country used to carry a list.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
He goes, "You're on my list, Patty."
so petty.
So
crazy.
petty. Like,
Yeah.
but that's just like a crazy old
the
man
grudge
thing.
is so toxic.
You're
It's
on my
crazy.
list.
Well,
Yeah,
think
on my
about it.
list.
He held a grudge against Ed Sullivan for his
Well,
whole life.
that was deserved. That was
Yeah,
deserved.
but to
Yeah,
hold
that
that
was-
grudge forever.
Well,
he
did
blacklisted
set
him. He did,
back.
yeah.
Yeah, send him back.
He sued him and he won.
I saw
He
him in
won
a
the lawsuit.
there was
He
a
did win.
documentary. or
He did
something.
blacklist him.
Yeah,
But
he definitely
didn't he do something wrong to get
No,
there?
I just told the story. What happened was
Everyone, I just walked in. I'm sorry.
I'll
great.
retell the story. But
Yeah.
what happened? You know, like when you're going to be in like the Tonight Show or something, right? You plan your exact 5 minutes. You know, so Jackie had like his exact 5 minutes down. 2 minutes in, they start waving him off, right? And he doesn't know why at all. We explain this in the musical, actually, the JackieMasonMusical.com. We explain it, but like anyway, so they start waving him off. He doesn't know what's going on. He's confused, so he starts going like this. It was totally misinterpreted that he gave Ed Sullivan the finger, which he didn't. And Lyndon Johnson had to make an emergency address about something. So then he got blacklisted for 20 years. He was in Florida doing nothing. Met my mom at a Wolfie's Delicatessen. So, like I told them, I should repeat this, right?
And do you do the tag?
Yeah. Yes. So what happened was, so he meets my mom because he's dicking around Florida doing nothing. He's performing for like $10 a ticket at the Fountain Blue in Miami Beach, right? Meets my mom.
It's a decent door deal back then, by the way.
Yeah. Eventually, finally, I'm born, right? But what happened was, so JFK was shot. Lyndon Johnson was the president. He made an address which caused Jackie to give Ed Sullivan the finger which he didn't actually do. He did this, but not the finger. But because of that, he was set back all these years. He went to Miami, did nothing. So when people wonder why I have a picture of Lee Harvey Oswald on my wall,
That's funny.
he had 2 guns. They say 2 guns were involved, but there was actually a 3rd gun.
That's
That's
hysterical.
what he said, right? Did I get it right?
You got it. That's the tag. Tony Walker.
So that's what happened.
Good stuff.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.